My name's Adam Monaco and I'm the Financial Controller for Hi-Tech Oils. With our national capacity, we can now service Australian companies nationwide. Of late, we have now expanded into the New Zealand market. Here at Hi-Tech Oils, we receive premium base oils and premium additive packs. Together, with our highly trained staff, we manufacture over 500 premium quality products. Hi-Tech Oils is Australian made and Australian owned.
On today's show, we head up to Willowbank Raceway in Brisbane for our continuing coverage of the Gulf Western Oil 51st Winternationals. We feature all the two-wheeled action from Pro Bike and Top Bike. Then we head up the road to Queensland Raceway for our continuing Round 4 coverage of the Shannons Nationals, featuring the Porsche Michelin GT3 Cup Challenge, the Australian Prototype Series and the National Sports Sedan Series. This is Speedweek.
Hello and welcome to 400 Thunder. On today's show, we've got all the action from the Two-Wheel Brigade, Pro Bike and Top Bike here from the 51st running of the Gulf Western Oils Winternationals. Let's take a look at the points coming into this event because one of those championships is wrapped up, Top Bike with Chris Matheson, but Pro Bike still well and truly wide open at this stage. Chris Matheson well and truly in command of the Top Bike Championship. He has taken home yet another national title. He leads the way into this event on 424. Mark Drew, the West Australian and former champion, in second with Chris Porter, Adam Layton and Ben Stevens rounding out the top five. Pro Stock Bike is tight. It is not mathematically over, but it is close. Buttigieg currently with the points lead. The only man with a chance of mathematically catching him is Maurice, but he has got a lot of work to do, and he certainly needs the chips to fall his way this weekend. The reigning champ, Brad Lemberg, sits in third with Andrew Badcock fourth, and Phil Howard, the veteran, rounding out the top five. Well, if you love your two-wheel action, we have got plenty of it here this weekend. Can't wait to get into it here at the 51st running of the Gulf Western Oils Winternationals.
Pro Stock Motorcycle is what we're going to be seeing here at Willowbank Raceway, the Gulf Western Oil 51st Winternationals. And Mark Allen, 9 bikes, so qualifying really is going to come into play today.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see the return of Luke Crowley in the field here for the Pro Bike class. That bike will be something special.
Crowley will be a threat, but Maurice Allen, he's trying to win a championship. He's in the pits with Gerald McDornan.
Pro Stock Motorcycle, 9 bikes have turned up this weekend, which pleases the IHRA CEO and number 2 in the points, Maurice Allen. Maurice, 47 points separate you and Corey Buttigieg. It's going to be a tough weekend. First goal is to qualify, obviously.
Absolutely, Gerald. I mean, you know, the biggest drag race of the year, the Winternationals, and here we are to actually win the championship. We've got to get into the field first. So it's really tough. It's going to be fantastic and exciting, and I'm just looking forward to the challenge ahead. And Corey's a great mate. We've been in the last 3 finals, so we're kind of pumped to try and make it 4 in a row. But, you know, in this game, you've just got to sort of get a few runs under your belt first in qualifying before you can sort of worry about eliminations.
Now, the Suzuki, does it have what it takes to be able to get past the V-twin?
Yeah, look, there's no doubt Corey certainly had the upper hand on me this season on performance. We've upped the capacity on my Suzuki now, so it's an NHRA spec capacity. So we've just been learning to tune it and get better with it all year. And last event we saw the quickest runs by 4 of the fastest bikes in the country. With Luke Crowley back this weekend, Brad Lemberg, I think you're going to see a string of 7.0s out of maybe 4, 5 or even 6 bikes. So she's going to be tough.
Well, it is the Gulf Western Oil Winternationals, but it's also unseasonably warm here at Willowbank Raceway. And the humidity is quite high, so it's not going to be ideal horsepower conditions for these naturally aspirated bikes. We're heading into round 3 of qualifying very shortly, but before then, we're going to take a look back at the highlights from the first qualifying sessions.
On track first, though, Luke Crowley, the bike, here returning in Australia for Crowley. Of course, he was an ex-pro bike champion, taking on Daniel Rabnock. Qualifying session number 1, Crowley lays down a 7.16.
Big speed though, 306 kilometres an hour, that's over the record. Daniel Rabnock there, a 7.55. Next pairing up though, Phil Howard took on Mark Hancock. Howard, of course, the veteran from South Australia. He had a few problems, but Mark Hancock was able to take it down the lane. 7.89 to put him into the field in the early session.
Yeah, Phil Howard rolled through for a 9.55. Next up, reigning champ Brad Lemberg taking on Glenn Worcester, and Lemberg with dramas on the hit of the throttle. Worcester, he takes his bike all the way through for a great 7.39. 279 kilometres per hour there for Worcester, but Lemberg, he wasn't happy on the start line here. It is only qualifying session number 1 for the team. They can come back out in Q2 and 3 to improve.
Maurice Allen came out in session 1, ran on a solo because we didn't see Corey Buttigieg, and Allen had a big problem as well, pulled straight to the side of the track and literally came up with nothing. So that put him down in 7th.
It was a real surprising first session in Pro Bike. I expected a lot of quicker ETs, and so of course you've seen Maurice Allen also mention that in that pre-race interview as well.
We went into Q2, Mark Hancock to take on Andrew Badcock. Now Badcock didn't run the first session. He was pretty keen to put something on the board. Well, it was Hancock with the problems this time, but Badcock lays down a 7.65, 272 Ks, and that put him on to the qualifying sheets.
Next pairing up, we've got Glenn Worcester taking on Daniel Rabnock. Both bikes out strong here. This is a good qualifying session pass, number 2 here for these bikes, and Worcester goes 7.30, Rabnock goes 7.44, both solidly into the field.
And both improving. Now, what about Crowley? He's already run over the national speed record in the first session. Comes out in the second session against Brad Lemberg. Lemberg gets off the line this time. Crowley is with him. Keep an eye on the speed from Crowley. Absolutely. 7.07, 307 kilometres an hour. New national record for him, and a strong 7.25 for Lemberg.
Yeah, that was a real good sign of things to come here. Next pairing up, Maurice Allen taking on Corey Buttigieg. These guys have been in 3 finals, consecutive finals in a row. But this qualifying session pass here for both bikes, not that spectacular. Allen goes through with an 8.67, and our championship leader.
Well, Buttigieg's 11-second pass left him outside of the field. Not even qualified to have a chance at the championship. Phil Howard, he's out here trying to improve on his earlier, comes up with an 8.17, has him in 7th spot after 2 qualifying sessions. Here we go, into qualifying 3. This is what it's about. Can Corey Buttigieg come back into the field? He is number 9, not even getting to race tomorrow unless he improves. Man, there's a lot of pressure. Everybody's going to be looking to try and step up by a 10th or a bit in this session, Mark.
Well, it's the 3rd time down the track for these bikes. A lot of these guys have got at the data that they've collected. I think we'll see some big improvements in this session. First pairing up will be
Andrew Badcock and Mark Hancock. Very careful into stage, looking for the finest stage they can. Oh, big hole shot there. You listen to these things rev. Badcock across the line with a 7:49, 274 Ks, a 7:97. Not quite as happy for Mark Hancock.
Yeah, Andrew Badcock improved a fair bit there, actually. 7:49. That's a good pass for the team there. Puts him solidly into the field. But Mark Hancock with some dramas early on, so there's a lot of potential there for Mark.
Yeah, he ran quicker in the earlier qualifying pass, so that won't help him at all. Well, here comes Maurice Allen. Number 2 in the points, number 8 in qualifying at the moment. He's only just in the field. He's got to come up with something as well.
He wants to improve, and we've just seen him at the last round in Sydney run a great 7-1 pass, so he's got the power on board. They've got that new combination as well.
Daniel Rabnott's currently in 4th. He's already sitting on a nice 7:44. What can he run here? Both bikes leave hard this time. Oh, it looks like Maurice Allen's got the goods. Rabnott's going with him. Here comes Allen, 7:31, puts him into 4th, bumps Rabnott down to 5th. That'll be a big relief for the Allens.
Dan here with his dad, Pommy Pete Allen, mate, in at number 4 now with that 7:31, top half of the field.
Yeah, it's a lot better than it was before. We had an electrical problem, from travelling, Melbourne and back here, wiring problem. But it seems to be sorted now, which is good.
Fantastic, mate. Still a lot of bikes left to come in this session, though. There's some quick ones.
That's good. But anyway, we are where we are.
This was a really good run for Rabnott. Showed his consistency, but Maurice Allen's 7:31, that really took the pressure off.
Maurice Allen breathing a sigh of relief at a 7:31. You've jumped up into the top half of the field.
Oh, that's excellent, Gerald. We hadn't had any luck. We came out. We've had everything go wrong. Let's just try and go A to B. Let's get us in the top half. Let's try and have a crack at winning this championship.
The next bike out here in qualifying session number 3 for the Pro Bike class, we've got Glenn Worcester in a great 7:30 in qualifying session number 2. He's still inside that top half of the field. He edges this bike in. This is a good launch for Worcester. This is going to be another really quick pass for this team. 7:23. Glenn Worcester improves. He consolidates that number 3 spot.
Rusty Gregory's with Trevor Burrell.
Indeed I am, mate. 7:23. That improves you by 700ths, mate. Congratulations.
Yeah, great. We've got a few more to go yet. We hurt the motor pretty bad in Sydney, so we had to change it. But we'd like to thank Foursquare for our sponsorship, and thank you, Willowbank.
What a qualifying pass we got coming up now. Reigning champion Brad Lemberg to take on the points leader, Corey Buttigieg. Buttigieg's not currently in the field. The bump spot is an 8:170, held by Phil Howard. That's what he needs if he's going to get in and even take part in racing tomorrow, Corey Buttigieg.
Yeah, Maurice Allen will be watching this race pretty closely. 8:17, that is the time to beat. Brad Lemberg ran a great 7:25 in qualifying session number 2. Both bikes lead pretty strong here. I tell you what, I think Buttigieg might get in the field. This is a good pass.
A quick 7:16 consolidates second for Brad Lemberg, but a 7:3. That means Corey Buttigieg does go into the field, Rusty.
Well, at least at the moment it does. We've still got a couple more bikes left to come that could shuffle that order. For Corey Buttigieg, though, he did it the hard way. Looking at it from dead behind, he was hugging the centre line that entire run. It was about that close, guys. It was very tight.
Yeah, great shots there on board of Corey Buttigieg. That was a pressure pass for the team here. You look at this replay, they got in. The championship leader runs at 7:31. Brad Lemberg, reigning champion, goes 7:16, Rob.
Well, that puts Corey Buttigieg number 5, Maurice Allen's number 4. They meet in the first round. If Buttigieg wins that race, he wins the championship. If he doesn't, he has to wait because Maurice Allen would have to go all the way and win to take the title. But it's not only over yet, though, because we've still got a couple of qualifying bikes to go. Luke Crowley and Phil Howard. Howard, he now needs to run quicker than, well, he'd have to run a 7:30 to bump Buttigieg out, but he can fight his way back into the field.
Yeah, currently Mark Hancock is on the bump spot with that 7:89. That's the time to beat. Luke Crowley, everyone has been chasing him all weekend, and this is another stellar pass from the team. He goes 7:06. Crowley stays number 1, 308 kilometres per hour. Phil Howard only runs through for a 10-second pass.
Guys, down here with Andrew from Luke Crowley's crew, mate. That's a new national record for the speed. Congratulations.
Yeah, righto. 191. It's actually been quicker than that, but yeah, we're just sneaking up on it. Got it back only on Tuesday, so yeah.
Well, a 7:06 is not a bad way to just get it back and get it down there. Obviously, number one qualifier at the moment. Is that the plan?
Yeah, I don't think anyone will go past us, seeing as though we were the last one down the track. So yeah, sneaking up on it every pass, and hopefully we're a bit quicker next time.
Dramas to the very last pass in qualifying of Drag News Magazine Pro Stock Motorcycle. Number one qualifier is Luke Crowley with his 7:06, Brad Lemberg 7:16, Glenn Worcester third with a 7:23. Fourth is Maurice Allen 7:31 to take on Corey Buttigieg, also 7:31 in qualifying. Man, it is going to be tough tomorrow. It's race day at the Gulf Western Oil 51st Winternationals, coming to you from Willowbank Raceway at Ipswich in Queensland. And we have an intriguing championship battle coming up in Drag News Magazine Pro Stock Motorcycle. Maurice Allen and Corey Buttigieg going head to head. Rusty Gregory is down there with Corey Buttigieg in the pits. He's the man leading the fight.
Well, one man who has certainly got a job ahead of him today is our championship leader in Pro Bike, and that is Corey Buttigieg, mate. Championship race, it's all on the line in that first round of racing. You win, and the championship's yours.
Yeah, it would be good, wouldn't it? It's not as easy as that, but pretty confident. We've worked out our few issues with the bike, so we'll see what she does in the first round, and hopefully all goes good.
Now, you say you've had some issues with the bike. What kind of issues? Because this has been the bike to beat all year. It's been running some great times. So to come into the final event of the year with a few challenges is a little bit of a shock for everybody.
Yeah, we've got a new package with the engine. We've been waiting on parts, and it's been a big week trying to get it all together, start again with the tune and everything else. I think we left it a little bit too late, but racing's racing. It'll be good.
This is the way they're going to line up in Drag News Magazine Pro Bike. Maurice Allen to take on Corey Buttigieg in a championship battle. Luke Crowley, Mark Hancock, Glenn Worcester to take on Daniel Rabnott, and Brad Lemberg will be there against Andrew Badcock.
First pairing out, it is the championship race. The maths is simple. Corey Buttigieg wins, he's got the championship. He takes it home.
But if he doesn't win, Maurice Allen doesn't necessarily win yet.
No.
He has to go all the way through and win the actual event. Luke Crowley's hanging around. He's going to be hard to beat.
Well, that's exactly right. And Luke Crowley's got a massive performance advantage on the rest of the field at the moment. This pairing, though, Corey Buttigieg, Maurice Allen, 3 event finals in a row together. They face off round 1.
Well, Buttigieg's been the class performance-wise all season. Have a look at this from our starter cam at Willowbank Raceway. Big crowd in. Massive hole shot, Mark.
Maurice Allen's got a 10th on the tree. Upset, this is an upset. Maurice Allen gets the win. He keeps his championship hopes alive. Corey Buttigieg will be on the sideline now watching. But have a look at that margin, Rob.
That was incredible. 7:33 beats a 7:26 because of quicker start line reactions from Maurice Allen. Look at them glued together down the track on the onboard.
Wow, 28 thousandths of a second win margin there to Maurice Allen.
Oh, Rusty Gregory, Peter Allen's got to be over the moon.
Down here with the man who taught Maurice everything he knows, whole shot win to keep the championship alive, Pete.
We've got Rolly Lay's lucky ring on, so that's it's due to that.
That's it. There you go. It's all about superstition, guys. Whatever works, and at the moment, it's working for Maurice Allen.
Corey Buttigieg, that's not the result you wanted in the first round. The championship is still alive for Maurice Allen. A whole shot winner, 7:33 to a 7:26.
Yeah, oh well, it's part and parcel of racing. Me and Maurice have been sort of battling out the whole series, so that's good. We're mates, so it's all good.
It's going to be an anxious wait, though, for the rest of the day.
Yeah, maybe. Whoever wins, we've got a shout anyway tonight, so we'll see how that goes.
I think Corey Buttigieg's been very cool and calm.
If Buttigieg was any more laid back, his feet would be in the air. He's got to sit and wait. He may still be the champion. As we said, Maurice Allen has to win the event, and that's going to be a big task. What about this one? Daniel Rabnott, Glenn Worcester. These two have been very close to each other. This should be another great race in Drag News Magazine Pro Bike.
Yeah, these bike riders qualified number 3 and 6 respectively. Not too much separating the boys here. The Foursquare team of Glenn Worcester, closest to screen. Both bikes are pretty strong. This is neck and neck. I can't tell who won that race. It's Glenn Worcester gets the win, goes 7:31. Rabnott goes 7:37.
Very little in it across the line again. Another great race in Pro Bike. These guys just whacking them through the 6-speed gearboxes.
That was a close race here. Pro Bike putting on a show. Glenn Worcester goes through to the semi-finals.
Have a look how close this pair are across the finish line at Willowbank Raceway. Worcester by about a bike length and a half.
Well, they were neck and neck, and he's had that little bit of a top-end charge there.
Brad Lemberg on the VP Racing Fuel Suzuki. Can't win the championship this year, but he can certainly win the Winternationals.
Yeah, it hasn't really been a season to remember for the Lemberg team, having a lot of issues with this bike so far this season. Of course, maybe finish the season off with a win here at the Winternationals. That'd be good for the team.
Well, they've been quick enough, that is for sure. He's qualified very strongly into the number 2 spot. Here he is taking on Andrew Badcock.
Great onboard shots there from the Lemberg bike. For VP Racing Fuels, he is our record holder, ET record holder. Has run a best of a 7:05 for that national record, so, they've got the power. Here in round 1, can they apply it and get a win?
Here comes Lemberg, 7-1 at 301 kilometres an hour. That's fast.
Indeed, it is down here with Ross Lemberg, Brad's dad. Mate, you're starting to find a little bit of form with this bike again?
Yeah, it might have been a little bit aggressive then, but we'll, got something to go off now. We'll have a look at it when we get back. Yeah.
7:18, low ET of the round so far. Can it go quicker?
Yeah, sure.
I like that confidence. Yeah, it can go quicker, boys.
What I'm liking is these onboard shots on Drag News Pro Bike, because we just saw Badcock there disappear behind, just disappeared out of frame, Mark.
That's what happens when you run over 300 kilometres an hour like we just seen Lemberg do on that pass. But in the break area, Gerald catches up with Maurice.
Maurice Allen, that's the result you wanted in the first round. The championship is still alive here at Willowbank.
Oh, look, thanks, Gerald. I mean, Dad, Stewie, we made a call. Let's try something. It's the Winternationals. We've got to have a crack. I'm here to support the bracket, all my fellow riders. We put on a great show. I'm just pumped for our team. I'm pumped for the Winternationals, and we're still alive, and we're good to go.
Even better result, it was on a whole shot, 7:33 to a 26.
Oh, really? Even better? Oh, that's great. So we'll be happy with that. We've obviously got a tough one the next one, but hey, this is drag racing, right?
Maurice Allen's talking about having a tough one in the next round. He certainly may have, because Luke Crowley, Mark Hancock, he faces the winner of this pairing, and Crowley has been absolutely lightning, has already run over and reset the speed record, and he's run so close, within a couple of hundredths of a second of the elapsed time record.
Yeah, to be exact, 0.004 of a second off that elapsed time record. Mark Hancock looking to stop Luke Crowley here.
That's a big, big task. This is number 8 qualifier on screen, taking on Luke Crowley, our number 1 qualifier, new national record holder, and has to be hot favourite for the Gulf Western Oil Winternationals.
The bike hasn't even been here for a week. He got here on Tuesday. This is round 1, and Crowley has got the power. What's the elapsed time going to be?
7:04, new national record at the elapsed time.
That is under it by 16 thousandths of a second there. Luke Crowley, this bike. Do we say it? Do we dare say that 6-second pass, Rob?
This bike is capable of doing it. I'm not sure in these conditions. You got to feel for Mark Hancock. He had no show against that flying bike of Crowley's.
Yeah, 307 kilometres per hour again for Crowley. That sets him up for a semi-final race with Maurice Allen. He's got a couple tenths on the elapsed time as well.
There it is, Maurice Allen to take on Luke Crowley, Glenn Worcester to take on Brad Lemberg. They'll be fighting for a spot in the final of Drag News Magazine Pro Bike.
Tell you what, Maurice Allen's got a tough race in that semi-final matchup. Luke Crowley with that performance advantage. He's got to be looking to hit that tree if he want to keep that championship dream alive here in Pro Bike. That small glimmer of hope. Don't go away. We've got the finals coming up here for Drag News Pro Bike.
Here we are at Willowbank Raceway at Ipswich in Queensland. It's day 4, race day of the Gulf Western Oil 51st Winternationals. We're heading into the semi-finals of Drag News Magazine Pro Bike Eliminator. 2 great semis to come. One may decide a championship. We don't know yet. But first up, we are going to be seeing Glenn Worcester take on the outgoing champion, Brad Lemberg.
Yeah, we're on board with Brad Lemberg as we speak. You can see Glenn Worcester in the far lane there. The VP Racing Fuels biker Lemberg had lane choice here in the semi-finals. He has taken that lane over the other side of the racetrack.
Glenn Worcester's been quick. This is no gimme for Brad Lemberg.
No, there's only about a 10th separating the bikes in performance so far this weekend. It's going to probably come down to the reaction times here. Both bikes have been performing pretty well, fairly consistent. Lemberg's had some dramas throughout the season. Seemed to be getting on top of it this weekend.
Well, there's the view our starter has out in the middle at Willowbank Raceway. Here's the man that pushes the button to get these guys on their way. Worcester to take on Lemberg. This is for a spot in the final of Drag News Magazine Pro Bike at the biggest drag race outside of the United States of America anywhere in the world.
Oh no, there's dramas for Lemberg off the hit of the throttle there. Glenn Worcester, as long as he goes across the finish line, he will be into the final here for the Winternationals. Runs a 7:49, 268 kilometres per hour. He's through to the final, but Lemberg, it's a season to forget really for this team.
Well, Brad Lemberg's had a lot of problems with transmissions on his Suzuki, and this time it just lets him down. Moved only about a bike length off the start line. But for Glenn Worcester, I have to say, I think they may have some work to do because that bike sounded very flat in the top end mark.
Yeah, the speed was down only 260 kilometres an hour, but our eyes now go to that next race. It is a big, big race, Rusty.
Potentially. It could decide a championship or it could break a championship. Now, Maurice Allen needs to win this round. He actually needs to win the event to get around our current points leader, Corey Buttigieg, in the Pro Bike Championship. He did manage to take Corey Buttigieg down in the first round, but he has got probably the toughest job of the day in this semi-final matchup. He's taking on the man who was a number 1 qualifier and also managed to go low ET of the event so far in that first round of racing, Luke Crowley, with that 7:04.
I got to say, this bike at Crowley's, it is absolutely thrown the cat amongst the pigeons championship-wise. 7:04. He's reset the terminal speed record. He's reset the elapsed time record, and it's not over yet. I think he can go faster. You talked about it. Is the 6-second pass on the cards mark?
7:04. It's only 400ths of a second.
Only 400ths.
And this is the championship race as well. Maurice Allen. You know, the thing that Maurice has got on his side is maybe racecraft.
Have a look at there. There's his dad, Pete Allen, an absolute legend of the sport. He's got his fingers crossed, toes crossed, everything. He knows that his son, Maurice, is up against it this time because Luke Crowley has a massive horsepower advantage and it's an instant red light for Crowley. I got to tell you, I noticed that Maurice was in the beams and Luke Crowley was sitting in pre-stage forever. He's been timed out. He's only got 7 seconds to get in there. And Maurice Allen, he's going to the final. The championship dream lives on.
What is going on in Pro Bike?
Rusty, this is amazing.
You see this look on my face, guys? That's shock. Maurice Allen went in, he double-bowled Luke Crowley, which is completely within the rules, but what that does is put a time limit on Luke Crowley in terms of how long he has got to get into stage. The tree flashed, he was timed out. Maurice Allen will move on to the final round. That is absolutely incredible, and I guess it shows a little bit of gamesmanship from a guy who has been racing pro bike for in excess of 20 years.
Well, as you said, Rusty, nothing wrong was done by Maurice Allen. In actual fact, it comes down to the fact that Luke Crowley had 7 seconds to get in. He controls the race once Maurice Allen has 2 bulbs on, but Gerald McDornan, Maurice Allen's going to the final.
Maurice Allen. Well, the championship is still alive.
I don't know what happened then. All I saw was a green, and I worked it out, and he must have timed out or something, but I saw a green light. I thought, let's just send it, and I think the bike went quite well too, so I don't know what's happened to Luke. I really got no idea, so I'll have to find out, but I don't know what's happened, so we'll take a win.
He will take a win. A 7.25 actually gives him lane choice. Here it is. There is one person standing between Maurice Allen and a national championship. That will be Glenn Worcester in the final of Drag News Magazine Pro Bike. Night has fallen here at Willowbank Raceway at the Gulf Western Oil 51st Winternationals. The sound you'll hear is Suzuki race engines. They're burning out, ready for the final of Drag News Magazine Pro Bike. Maurice Allen, if he wins this race, he wins the championship. He is up against Glenn Worcester. Worcester qualified 3rd, Allen qualified 4th. So you have to say that Maurice Allen is still the underdog. He's still up against it.
He's the underdog in every round of racing so far, but the one advantage he has coming into the final, he had lane choice. He ran a 7.25 in that semi-final race. All right, we're about 8 seconds away from finding out if Maurice Allen will be the new 400 Thunder Pro Bike champion.
Glenn Worcester on the near side brings it up on the revs, and he's gone too soon. Worcester brought it up on the revs very early, backed off, left too soon, red lights. Maurice Allen's the champion. 7.20 again, but the time doesn't matter. He has won the title, Mark.
He has done the impossible, the miracle. Maurice Allen, Pro Bike champion. He came into this weekend, he was long odds.
We called him a mathematical chance only. It was supposed to be Corey Buttigieg's final. It was supposed to be his championship, but Maurice Allen has done the job.
He's come from the heavens.
Oh, you got to feel for Worcester because that was a very unfortunate red light, but Gerald McDonald, he's down in the braking area with a guy that has to be, can't believe his luck.
There's the first one, mate. Champion Pro Stock Motorcycle. Congratulations.
Thanks, Gerald. Look, I came and did a few rounds this season with the lads, and it turned out that we were kind of having a bit of fun. And, Corey has become a really good mate and a friend, and we've been having so much fun in the pits, and our rivalry has been nothing short of fantastic. The poor bugger, he's been in suspense for the last 3 rounds. I've been in suspense for the last 3 rounds, thinking there's no way I ever thought that in the classiest field that we've ever seen, to do this and hold the trophy. So it means so much to everybody here. Dad, Stewie, my wife's here, my sister's here, my 3 boys are here. I'd like to thank 400 Thunder. Kevin Prendergast does a fantastic job. I'd like to thank IHRA Australia. And I'd like to thank all the volunteers and the stewards and all the fans for making it a great event. Thank you very much.
What an amazing finale to Drag News Magazine Pro Bike at the Gulf Western Oil Winternationals. Maurice Allen wins the championship from Corey Buttigieg, Brad Lemberg into 3rd, Andrew Badcock 4th, and Glenn Worcester 5th. It has just been an amazing season in this category.
Here we are at Willowbank Raceway. We now move into the top bike class, the top fuelers of the motorcycles, you could say. This is the Gulf Western Oil Winternationals. The championship has been wrapped up by Chris Matheson. Rusty down in the pits has caught up with Chris and their plans for this weekend.
Guys, down here with Chris Matheson, the only one of our 400 Thunder Professional Series competitors to have actually wrapped up a championship. So, first of all, congratulations on getting it done before the last race of the season, Chris. But this weekend, one of the bigger fields we've seen from Top Bike this year, it's not going to be easy.
No, it'll be tough. No, I think the track conditions are going to be tough. Hopefully this wet stuff gets away and we can get out there and do what we do.
Now, one thing, the 5-second run. Everybody talks about the 5-second run. I know we've spoken about it numerous times throughout the year. The incrementals are starting to get there. You're starting to get the job done on the front half of the racetrack. The question is, can it be done this weekend?
I think if the track's there and the conditions are there, certainly the bike's there. I want to get it done and get it off my back. I've got a heavy monkey there and he's been there a while, so yeah, I'm keen to have a go. So hopefully if everything lines up, we'll have a bit of a crack at it.
Well, plenty of colour around here at Willowbank Raceway, where we've had 4 days of fantastic Gulf Western Oil Winternationals action. Top Bike, it's all about nitromethane fuel. That's where these motorcycles get their horsepower from. A small field for Gasoline Alley Harley-Davidson Top Bike, but it's a quality field. First session of qualifying saw Chris Matheson on the Nitro Voodoo taking on Adam Layton in the APL Gulf Western Oil Harley-Davidson, one of the quickest Harleys in the country, Mark.
Yeah, Layton looking for some more performance from this bike. They got a new combo on board this weekend, looking to really step up their performances. They ran that low 6-second zone at Sydney Dragway recently. But Chris Matheson, our championship leader, winner, he's got the championship wrapped up. He streaks through for a 6:34. That's a pretty good first pass there for Matho.
He was offered very early. He still ran 346 kilometres an hour across the finish line. Adam Layton, a 7:02 at 2:44.
Next, pairing up in qualifying session number 1, Gavin Spann taking on Robert Cassar.
Yeah, Cassar on screen now. He's, down a little bit on horsepower compared to some of the other bikes. But Gavin Spann running for Noodle Box on his supercharged, fuel-injected, nitro-methane burning multi-cylinder.
Yeah, both bikes are fairly strong here. Cassar with a bit of nitrous on board his bike. And Gavin Spann went through for a 7:46. That put him into number 3 position. And Robbie Cassar went through with an 8:53, puts him in number 4.
With all 4 riders guaranteed a spot in racing, they elected to drop a qualifying round. So here we move into, it's their Q2, but in actual fact, the final qualifying round for the Top Fuel motorcycles. We've got Chris Matheson to take on Robert Cassar. And of course, Matho with this Nitro Voodoo bike. We've already seen him run a 6.3. We dream of a 5-second pass. It's going to come one day when we're least expecting it. Rob Cassar, well, he probably dreams of a 6-second pass. But what he has got is ultimate reliability with a nitrous oxide injected bike. He knows he's going to go from A to B 19 out of 20 passes, and he just has to hope he gets a little bit of a lucky break. And if the rider in the other lane has any sort of problem in racing, he's going to pick up some wins.
You've hit the nail on the head there with the bikes in this class. We know Matheson has got the power. He's got the potential. He's our number 1 qualifier. He is the champion. What can he do here in qualifying session number 2?
Matho's already number 1 with a 6.30. Oh, smokes the tyre. Got off the throttle, back on it, picks the front wheel up, shuts it off early, and still runs a 6.83. Cassar, I put the announcer's curse on him. He had some problems and only ran a 15-second pass.
Yeah, guys, down here with Graham from Chris Matheson's crew, mate. Just blew the tyre off that one. I saw you go out there, have a look at it. What's the result there?
Yeah, we were a bit slow in the last round, so we just put a little bit more clutch in it, but we only put a tiny bit, but we might have put just a tiny bit too much.
A little bit too much. This bike's been performing really well on the front half of the racetrack. Getting it off the start line has been where this thing has really been getting up and moving. We haven't seen it go across the finish line under power all that often. What's it going to do when it does?
5.8s, 5.9s, hopefully.
On 2 wheels burning nitro. Not for me, guys, not for me.
Here we go with the final pass of Gasoline Alley Harley-Davidson Top Bike qualifying. We have got Gavin Spann on the Noodle Box multi-cylinder bike to take on Adam Layton on the Gulf Western Oil Harley.
Yeah, these guys are currently number 2 and 3 in qualifying. I think they're looking for a solid 6-second pass here in the second session. See if they can sneak up on Chris Matheson, our number 1 qualifier at the moment. That's 6.34. Adam Layton with that new combo on board, still coming to grips with Top Bike racing, you could say, Rob.
Yeah, he has run into the mid-6s and has been working on some stuff. He is determined to be the quickest Harley in the country. Still got a way to go, but you know that what this guy has got up his sleeve, anything could happen on any individual pass. And Gavin Spann, one of the great old stages of motorcycle drag racing in Australia, former champion in top bike. So he knows how it's done. Oh, not this time for Gavin Spann. He's got some problems.
Yeah, it's not a clean pass for Adam Layton either. It rolls through for a 7.66. So that will keep him in number 2 qualifying spot at the moment. And Gavin Spann rolls that bike through for a 28-second pass.
Yeah, well, Adam Layton there, that bike definitely dropped a cylinder on the top end of the racetrack. You could hear it. It was really only on one. Let's see what we can find out here. Tell you what, that bike was trying to smoke the tyre and then it just had no drive. I don't know, maybe changed something in the drive line itself for Gavin Spann, but you can see Adam Layton there, that thing was down to one cylinder. So, number 1 qualifier is Chris Matheson with that 6:30. Adam Layton is 2. Gavin Spann is 3. Rob Cassar is 4. We're going to run the 3-round all-run system, so we'll see those bikes run over 3 rounds of racing. So make sure you stay with us on 400 Thunder Championship Drag Racing. We'll be bringing you all of that straight after this short break. Welcome back to Willowbank Raceway at Ipswich in Queensland. We're here for race day of the Gulf Western Oil 51st Winternationals, and we are into racing round 1 of Gasoline Alley Harley Davidson Top Bike. We've got 4 bikes, so we're going to be running 3 rounds of racing for all 4 bikes. Great crowd in here at Willowbank, considering the fact that it's threatened with rain in Brisbane.
Yeah, look pretty bad up the skies there in the background. Let's have a look at the race ladder for Top Bike round 1. Chris Matheson will take on Robert Cassar, and our second pairing, Adam Layton, will take on Gavin Spann.
Top point scorers after 2 rounds get to fight out the main final. The others go into round 3 just to score some more championship points. Chris Matheson to take on Rob Cassar. We saw Cassar with a problem in the final qualifying session, but he's back with a ballistic performance parts nitrous injected bike now. But he's got a real task on his hands when he's got Chris Matheson, multi-time Australian champion, on the Nitro Voodoo beside him.
Yeah, Chris Matheson ran that 6.34 in qualifying. He was our number 1 qualifier. He's got about a second and a half on top of Robert Cassar at the moment. So Cassar, you know, he's just got to do his thing. He's got to get off the start line, keep the bike from start line to finish line, and hope that Matheson has some issues or some dramas and he can sneak on by.
Yeah, a 10th or 2 on the whole shot wouldn't hurt either for Rob Cassar. Can he do that? Matho's got the whole shot in actual fact. Smoked the tyre again, off the throttle. Cassar got level for a while, and then it was all Matheson. 7.02 beats a 7.81, but you wouldn't call it easy, Mark.
Not at all. Chris Matheson, he did it the hard way. He got out, had the whole shot, couple of tenths there, smoked the tyres. Robert Cassar starts streaking away, but then the power of this Nitro Voodoo Top Fuel motorcycle team, nearly 300 kilometres per hour, gets the win.
Well, Matheson's through. He's got points from round 1. There's the onboard shot of Gavin Spann on the Noodle Box bike.
I've just got to say something, mate. That's crazy. These guys have got no protection around them. They're doing 350 kilometres per hour, and that's their view. No, not for me.
Yeah, 350 plus. And I mean, the wind itself.
Look at it. You're crazy. Why would you do this? 350 kilometres per hour.
Well, I wouldn't, but they'll all tell you it's a hell of a ride, and they're spectacular to watch. I have sat on that bike, and it scared me sitting still. The APL Gulf Western Oil Harley Davidson of Adam Layton from Sydney runs it out of his APL Performance Motorcycles workshops down there. Gavin Spann from Beenleigh in Queensland. Spann with a whole shot.
So both bikes with some issues. Gavin Spann gets the win, goes 7.22. Adam Layton with some drums goes 7.60 seconds. Both bikes not really where we've seen them be here at Willowbank Raceway.
Yeah, I think Gavin Spann, have a look here on the replay. Gets out, then he started to work on it because it headed for the fence. He had to get off the throttle for a while, twice there. So it wasn't bad considering he was off the throttle twice.
Yeah, it didn't look like a real happy pass in both lanes of the track there for those top bikes, but Adam Layton in particular, Rusty.
Down here in the top fuel bike pit area, I should say, down here with Adam Layton. And Adam, unfortunately, mate, things not going to plan today for you.
Yeah, no, I'm going to pull out. I've got a new motor combination in there, and I'm a long way off from getting it down the other end there, and I'm going through the clutch and making a lot of power and a really good track. So I'll call it quits today, and I'll come back next year.
There's nothing easy with these motorcycles, is there? It's you change one thing on them, it affects 10 other things, and that's always the challenge when you're riding these 2,000 horsepower motorcycles.
Yeah, you got to smile when you're doing it, and just think of there's always another day, and save your parts. And I'll come back up here, and I'll look forward to get back to Sydney where I know and do some testing, and probably the next couple of weeks I'll be back out again.
Well, very unfortunate news from the pits and Adam Layton, as now we go into round 2. And just as the pairings happen to work by the point system, guess what? We have got Chris Matheson racing Rob Cassar again.
There you go. That's what happens. So Rob Cassar, he's looking to maybe get one back up on him. Go one apiece here today in racing for top bike.
Well, we're seeing Chris Matheson smoke the tyre twice. He's broken traction, too much horsepower, going to the rear wheel too soon in the pass. You know that they'll be tweaking it, they'll have looked at their data, they'll be playing with that, just trying to get it to stick. And the other thing is, there's been more and more cars down this track, and it's getting stickier and stickier, isn't it, Mark?
Exactly right. And you know what? They have blown the tyre off twice so far this weekend, but you know that means they're only getting closer to that tune-up being spot on for this track.
Comes out this time, and it's on a solid pass. On it at half track, on it 1,000 foot, on it across the finish line just about.
What?
Oh no!
What's going on?
That's probably the furthest I've ever seen Chris Matheson ride that bike at Willowbank Raceway, and our timing system has decided to have a wobbly. There is no time recorded. We don't know what he ran, but we know Matheson won. Gerald McDornan.
Chris, how did the ride feel?
Scary as shit.
First good full pull all the way through?
Yeah, buttoned off at about 1,000. That was enough.
Okay. Unfortunately, a timing malfunction. We're going to have to go today.
Oh, okay. No worries. Felt fast.
How fast? He went a long way.
That was quick.
That was a 6.0, I reckon. I don't think
quick.
it was a 5, but it was a 6.0 probably. Well, what can Gavin Spann do? Here he is in round 2 on the Noodle Box bike. He's on his own. Adam Layton has withdrawn on the Gulf Western Oil Harley. Oh, look at that bike fishtailing off the line, over to the centre line. Bang. All over for him. Once you're on the centre line, it is a disqualification. So he'll get the win, but he won't get any points. There was no one in the other lane.
Yeah, that's right. So, tell you what, take the positives from the pass. It was a good run early on for Gavin Spann.
Yeah, he'll get the win points, but he won't get any elapsed time points because he's crossed the centre line. Doesn't matter, he's going into the next round, and that gives him 2 wins from 2 starts. He'll be going into the final against Chris Matheson.
Well, as we have a look at the race ladder here for the top bike final, Chris Matheson will take on Gavin Spann in the final, and Robert Cassar will just run for the points in the 3rd round.
Well, the air has really cooled off here at Willowbank Raceway for the Gulf Western Oil 51st Winternationals. We're heading into Gasoline Alley Harley-Davidson top bike. It's round 3 and the final. So what we'll see is this is the all-run system. Rob Cassar is going to do a run. We would have seen him up against Adam Layton, but Layton has withdrawn on the APL Gulf Western Oil Harley-Davidson. So Cassar gets to run on his own, and he will just add to his championship points tally on the ballistic nitrous oxide equipped motorcycle.
Yeah, Robert Cassar has been running in that low 7-second zone. His final pass of the weekend, he will get the win here.
Looks like his cleanest and straightest pass of the weekend, 7.50, 274 kilometres an hour. Whacks another 20 championship points on his tally for the year. But this is the big one. This is for the Winternationals gold Christmas tree, Mark.
That's it. Chris Matheson is the champion this season. That was wrapped up before the start of the event. Now he wants to take home 2 Christmas trees. The man looking to stop him from doing that is Gavin Spann on screen.
Well, on performance figures, we just saw Chris Matheson run. We don't know how quick because our timers failed in round 2 earlier this afternoon. Haven't had a good since. So, man, that was cruel. But here he is, got the number 1 on his leathers from last year. He'll get to carry him into the new season. Gavin Spann, he'd love to take home the gold. That's what it's about for him, just to win another Winternationals. He's done it before.
And he's done it in top bike. Issues for Spann.
Look at the nitro flame. Comes off the throttle at about 1,000 foot and 608 and 346 kilometres an hour, Rusty.
It was clean, it was crisp, it was quick. 6:08, Graham, mate. Congratulations. You're taking out the event and the championship.
Yeah, we've been struggling, but our last couple of runs we went really well. We were robbed the last run. We never got a time or anything, so probably the run before might even been a bit better.
What a pass by Chris Matheson to wrap up Top Bike. Brought to us by Gasoline Alley Harley-Davidson at the Gulf Western Oil Winternationals. He's got the gold for the event. He's got the gold for the championship in a dominant season. Look at those points ahead of Mark Drew, Adam Layton, Chris Porter, Ben Stevens, and down the list. Well, the Gulf Western Oils Winternationals has turned it on 2 wheels. Pro Bike, we saw this amazing championship from the clouds for Maurice Allen.
Yeah, Maurice Allen taking that championship win, takes home both Christmas trees and Pro Bike. The Winternationals win, the championship win, the double up. What more else could you ask for a weekend?
Well, what we would have hoped for was a 5, but he ran 6:08 seconds, so close to it. Rode that bike to about 1,100 feet, I think. That's it for the 400 Thunder season, but guess what? We've got a great calendar of action coming up for the 2018-2019 400 Thunder season. It all starts in Darwin and runs right through the year to return here to Willowbank Raceway for the Gulf Western Oil Winternationals next year.
Coming up after the break, we head to Queensland Raceway for our continuing Round 4 coverage of the 2018 Shannon's Nationals.